Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is October 4th of 2021. And as you can see on my screen here, tomorrow is release date for Windows 11. I'm already running Windows 11. Uh, so, and it's like Windows 10 on steroids, or it's fine. Windows 11. I do think they're rushing it out a little too quick. I don't think they've done enough testing on it. I haven't had any problems, I don't believe, with it. But my Dell computer, which has a really fancy, expensive video card in it, not because I could ever afford to buy one, but my grandson, grown grandson, is big into gaming, that type of stuff, and he upgraded several times with fancy video cards. So he gave me, and I forget what the number NVIDIA card or anything about it, but it's in the Dell computer. But as I mentioned and reported in a video previous, I ran the little thing that Apple that Windows has that checks your computer for you, and it tells me that my Dell computer that's in the closet will not run Windows 11. But they're supporting Windows 10 until 2025. And a bunch of the things that they've done to Windows 11, those things will show up on Windows 10, rounded corners and I don't know, a whole bunch of those things. They're going to show up. So if what you want to do is, what you're doing, if Windows 10 is working for you, unless you've got something wrong, you can just stay with Windows 10. I think a lot of people do not like the Windows 11 menu type, or is this their start menu, or what they call it? I don't know. I'm okay with it. The things here, are down on the taskbar down here, and then they're in the middle. If you're somebody who, it's supposed to be to the left or something, come on, Like I said, Windows 11, working fine. If you don't like something, maybe you can pay for StarDeck, is it StarDeck or StarDock or whatever? I've paid for 3 or 4 of their programs. I never run them. I think I'm going to look at them again and maybe go ahead and activate 1 or 2 of them. The thing for setting up your desktops and what do they call it? Corral, or that's something I used in the past, and I may use that again, so that there would be a part of the screen here and everything that, say, I was going to be using for making a YouTube video would all be in that dock area or whatever. Corral, what do they call it? Anyway. Anyway, what I'm wondering about is how they're going to roll out tomorrow Windows 11 to people. I don't think everybody is going to boom, after midnight tonight or something, and is at Pacific time, because Microsoft is in California or whatever. Or no, are they in what, Washington State? I don't know. Who cares? Um, so I wonder how they're going to roll it out. And now it doesn't matter to me because I'm already running Windows 11 in the preview mode or whatever they call that. Um, they haven't. There before last week. Just about every Thursday, I think it was, they were rolling out some fixes and improvements for Windows 11 to those of us who were signed up for this preview mode or whatever they call that. I'm not hell with it. I'm just going to click on, and they haven't done it, and I can understand that because the idea was, I guess, that they told the people who manufacture computers that effective the 5th is that's going to be what those people can burn onto the new computers that are going to be selling at Christmas. So they didn't want to roll out something within the last week with some more fixes to it or something, because they already told them last week or slightly before last week that okay. So I can understand they don't want to kick out something new, and then you're going to have whoever makes computers nowadays, Dell or whoever, is going to say, well, wait a minute, we just, and now we see there's a fix. So I think what I'll do as soon as I think my plan will be just to not stay with the preview. I'll switch from whatever. Well, okay, I guess I got to do that, don't I think I'm in the developers. Yeah, developers thing. Let's see. Settings. Got to drag this over from my other monitor here. Windows Update. No, I think I need to go. Okay, here it is. Windows here. Let me minimize this so you don't get, Oh, you're not seeing it. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Maybe StarDock will come out with something that automatically. Let's see. I'm up to date with Windows 11, I don't want to pause, update history, advanced options, delivery optimizations, optional updates, active hours, other Windows Insider program. Let's see if there's... Let's see. Join the Windows Insider program. Try new features before they're released and give feedback. Get expert tips and insight. Access exclusive contests and events. Huh. I guess I know. I guess I should go ahead and do this. Link an account to join the program. Link an account. Let's get you signed in. Okay. Continue. Okay, here we are. Choose your insider channel. Developer channel. That's what I've been in, I think. Ideal for highly technical users. Be the first to access the latest Windows 11 builds. Earliest in the development cycle within the new code. There will be some rough spots, and I think I'm already in this beta channel, I believe. Let's see. Beta channel, recommended, ideal for early adopters. These Windows 11 builds will be more reliable than builds from the development channel. With updates validated by Microsoft, your feedback has the greatest impact here. Okay, release preview channel. Ideal if you want to preview fixes and certain key features, plus get optional access to the next version of Windows 10 before it's generally available to the world. This channel is also recommended for commercial users. I think I'm just going to stay in the where I think I already am. Beta channel. Okay. Continue. Huh. I think I'm already in. Restart your device and check for updates. Leave your device on and plugged in. Restart later. Okay. Welcome to the Windows Insider program. Restart your device and check for updates. Okay. Maybe I need to restart this thing now that I did this. Okay, here on the desktop you see down here, Movavi test. I won't go into I won't go into details about it because the video explains what this was all about. So I just won't repeat it here. You may just want to tune out, but I recorded this video last night and about Movavi Video Editor Plus. And then I mentioned ManyCam, and I mentioned ACDc's programs and things like that. If you think you're maybe interested in something like that, then you can continue to watch. But I'm going to stop this video here. I didn't intend to. This is not something I intended to do, but you know me. But I'm going to add this video because I don't want to waste any effort that I made. You know, I don't want to. So this will be added to this video. And then I'll probably come back a little bit later on with a new video, and I'm not sure if I'll be I think I will, because what I wanted to look at was what some of these sites are saying of what's going to happen tomorrow with the rollout of Windows 11. And I think too what I'll do is go to, is it Stardock? Whatever that company is that they make some games, and they've been making things that add to Windows in the past. And they're going to continue to do that. And I've already paid for, I'm not using any of them, I've already paid for 3 or 4 of their things, and you can pay one fee, I think, and get a whole bunch of their fixes. And I don't think they're so much as fixes as they are like enhancements. And the one that I've paid for, the Corral, or it's where you can decide what you want in some windows, some panels. You can put things in there. So let's say that your thing is, say you're working on a book or something or other, and you want to have chapters in a thing on your desktop that you can see, and then maybe another area down here that you want to have spell checker in there that you could automatically hit, and a few other, I don't know what somebody would be if you're an author, I don't know it, but get the idea. So that's what I'm going to come back and do. But for this, since I went over here now and it tells me, I think I'm going to go ahead and, but anyway, when this ends, don't touch the mouse. Maybe look at it for a little bit and see if anything interests you with this Movavi test, where I'm talking about programs for doing what I'm doing now. Showing you the desktop, showing you a video of me at the same time, stuff like that. So, okay, thank you very much. Okay, I'm actually back. Disregard what I just said. I rebooted the computer to do the change for the Windows developer thing, was it? And I told you there hadn't been any updates for like a week. But when I rebooted, because I switched to developer phase or whatever, which phase did I go to? I forget. It says updates available to install, and it's Intel Net 22.80.0.9, and then it's Intel's Bluetooth 22.80.0.4. Let's see what we can find out about the Intel. Update here. Okay. Eight 0.0.9. Okay, 2260, no. I guess it's so new it didn't make it to the... Okay, wait a minute. Here, down here, let's see what we have here. Let's see, Microsoft Update Catalog. Let's see. Microsoft Update Catalog. Nine. Okay, it doesn't show. Let's see. 526. 526. Missing drivers. Yeah, I got a feeling this is an area I shouldn't be in. Okay, well, looks like 6 is the latest. Well, this is because I guess we're getting... well, here's 22.80.04. Let's go down here. This is for Bluetooth. Okay, it doesn't go that far on this page, and I don't want to change pages. So I'm going to go ahead and upload what I said I was going to upload, except I'm uploading my one video, and then instead of uploading that Movavi test video, this video will go in between those two. So don't touch the mouse, or touch the mouse, I don't know. Don't know what I'm doing. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, okay. I just been talking to myself about, oh my God, all this time I've been talking, you know. So let me explain to you what happened. Oh man, I explained everything. Okay. Do I even want to go through this? Well, maybe see if settings here, if I can get the, no. Okay. Man, a bummer. I'm going to forget about the other video programs that I talked about. I'm just going to talk about Movavi Video Suite. A long time ago, I purchased Movavi. I'm not sure what it was called then. Video Studio, or I don't know. So that I could, record the screen and have a picture, from on the screen. Over the years, they made changes, and I believe in the beginning that supposedly, I believe, and maybe I'm wrong on this one. I know I'm not wrong on ACDc program, but I think on this one too, it was like, okay, you've paid for the program now, and you won't have to pay anymore. And then bang, it's, well, this is Movavi Video Suite. This is Movavi, I don't know what, Deluxe or something. And I had to pay for every one of them. And then a lot of times what would happen, because I changed my software, I switch around, I do things. After I did that a few times, it would say, you've used your key too many times. And so you can no longer, you have to purchase a new key. Because I think they thought I was, which I wasn't, giving it to other people to install on their computer. It's just been, anyway, I just installed, I just went, the other day, last week or whatever, to Movavi's site, and I own 3 or 4 keys for programs, like a video editor and a image editor and stuff like that. And it let me download them, and it let me install the key, and it said, it's activated. And then the next time I logged in, it said, each of those, your key has been used too many times. You need to purchase a new key. And that's happened with not just them, but with others. So anyway, I went to the Movavi site, and it said that I owned the video suite, whatever, and I copied the key, and I downloaded whatever it was called. I ran it, and it said, oh, you have an old version, but you can download it. and use it. And I thought, oh, okay. And so then I downloaded it just a few minutes ago, and uh, ran it, and it said, you have, the old version and the new version, and it was quite a change. I forget what the numbers were, but it was many, many, many changes. So I really had an old version. And it said, now, you can upgrade. Here's the link to go, and you can upgrade this. And I went there, and it said, okay, you get a 30% discount by upgrading. And so I clicked on that to see what, and I forget, I think it's like, it would cost me $60 to upgrade to the new version of Movavi Video Suite, I believe. And it's on a yearly basis. So every year, instead of them doing like a lot of the other people do, which is always hitting you like you download some program and, oh, well, hey, this is great, and you use it, and then you pay for it, and then they tell you, either they tell you, oh, there's a new version, and it's going to cost you $50 or $60 for the new version, and it just never ends. So this video's been running 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm not sure. Down in the corner of the screen, I think you can see. Maybe you can't. Maybe that only shows because it's recording the screen but you can see a picture of me. I don't know how big it is. I think in the settings someplace it lets me adjust the size by percentage, and I'm not. So right now, if my image, and I'm waving my hands, if that's showing to you, I'm not sure if that's a little tiny postage size stamped thing on my screen, or if it's filling half of the screen and covering up, and I don't know. Video Suite, their software's okay. But it's just unacceptable that, of course, if you have money, I guess it doesn't matter. If money isn't, with me, it's a problem. To be paying for these things over and over again every year, or if they're not doing the yearly thing. I'll tell you, ManyCam, which I have used and do use, but they're very good, and the way they do everything is very, like I purchased a lifetime, whatever, key, and so far they've been honoring that. Now they may in the past, had a little had something different, slightly different, but it was inexpensive, and I overlooked it. And they may have done some of this where now they have lifetime keys, but now a program that is really excellent, and I used it a long time ago, and it was ACDc Photo Editor, and I used that all the time, a long time ago, and that was that was their program, and I think that's the only thing they had, and it was excellent, and it's still excellent. But I remember they said, "Oh, okay, purchase this maybe it was an upgrade or something. You purchase this now, and you have a lifetime. You'll never have to pay for it again. And I paid for it and used it. And it might be that I ended up, because I'm always changing my, and back then too, especially, I was, I would put Linux on my computer totally, and sometimes not total, sometimes sharing different things. And I'd go back to I'd go back to ACDc, and then eventually I went back, and it was like, you've installed this key too many times, so you have to purchase it over again. And I was like, oh crap, And so I went ahead and purchased it over again. And then before long, it was, I forget exactly the wording. It was, okay. It's now ACDc video or photo suite, and it's you'll have to pay for it every year or something like that. And I looked up, or I contacted them, and they said no, it's that thing of lifetime membership, not having to pay again. That was for the old program. This is the new program. Yeah, the new program had a few small improvements. It was the same program, and bang. But now ACDC. Well, anyway, about that time, I just said to hell with ACDC photo editor. It was a great it was a great program, still a great program, but that just turned me off. And then years later, at some point, I went back and looked at ACDC, because I remember it worked really well, did everything just exactly the way I wanted it to. And they had ACDC video suite, and I think some other things too, ACDC. And I think I downloaded a trial version, and then I think I paid for the thing, and their software was really good, but it was like you end up paying every year, for it. And so, but anyway, if you can afford it, ACDC is really good. Their entire suite, photo, video, whatever. And ManyCam is simple and easy, and of course OBS is good and it's free. So ManyCam's good. ManyCam is, or the other one I just said is good. Movavi Video Suite. No. And I'm not sure. Do they have some connection with ManyCam? I'm not sure. But this video suite thing, you never stop paying for it. Kind of wish it was like the American Rifle Association. I'm not sure if they do. The American Rifle Association has, I used to be a member right after I got out of high school. And I know you're surprised by that, by the way. I love the American Rifleman, magazine. But I think if I remember correctly, they have a lifetime membership, and I'm not sure though when you buy the lifetime. I think that's sort of like an honorary thing. I think you still pay the dues or whatever. The American Radio Relay League for Amateur Radio Operators, a good organization for ham radio operators, but they have a lifetime member. But I'm 80 years old. I'm not going to be buying any. I'm not going to be buying any lifetime memberships. But And even then, even the I'm not sure if the for the American Amateur Radio League, the AM radio one, I think if you pay lifetime, and I forget how much, it's a lot of money. I mean, many hundreds of dollars. If you pay it, I think you still have to pay the membership dues every month. I'm not sure about the American uh, Rifle Association, but for somebody young, of course, I still think these people would come back no matter what. You know, you sign up for something, and you pay, you know, $500 for a life member. You know, you're 22 years old or something, and you pay $500, and you're a life member. You know, you get listed in the magazine, life member. When you die, it's going to say, you know, he was a life member. But it, I'm too old to be be a life member of something like that. But I just wish that, you know, these ones that started, you know, I don't expect them now to. I don't expect things for free. But those of us back before anybody knew about, you know, computers, before there was an internet, all that type of stuff. Before there was, well, I guess there was an internet. Before there was a World Wide Web. It seems like a company, if you paid for a life membership for a photo editor or something, it seems like they could just, okay, you know, you got a life, membership. But no, they just keep coming back. All these video editing programs and things, it's some of them are excellent, really good. And they go, wow, that's really good. Does everything. And then after a year or so, or less, we have a new version, and it's going to be $50 or $60. And well, man, it's really good, you know. Okay, they made an improvement to it. Well, of course, the improvement's usually pretty small that they made because they already did a hell of a program. So you go ahead and you pay, you know, and you think, oh, okay, well, I'm all upgraded. And then 6 months, 7 months later, there's a new version, and they hit you for another, $50, $60, $70. I guess I would not have been a good business person. Actually, we were in business several times. I had a patrol service for about a year, security patrol service for about a year, and we did a fantastic job. Like the other security service that had been around for a while, they had, I don't know, say 10 cars, patrol cars. Of course, a bunch of them didn't work. But what they did is they had like one, because they hired me in. I got hired in. I didn't really know anything about them. I got hired in and to be a security officer at different places, and they put me in different places. They put me at home for retarded children, and I worked there. I'd probably be still working there because I felt for those kids so much. Except I worked there, I don't know, maybe a few months or something, and then the company called and said, don't go into work. They're not, or they haven't been paying us, and so we're not sending anybody there. So, but then I ended up working for this patrol service, and what they did is they had like one officer patrolled all of Kansas City, Missouri. One officer, and that was me. I patrolled all of the city of Overland Park, Kansas, a major city. I had every car dealer except for one on Metcalf Avenue that I had to check on, and they had me set up to, the salesman would have he'd go out and no matter what these people said, he'd say, sure, we can do that. And they had me set up to be like I had to close a tavern at 1 or 1:30 a.m. I had to go in and close up the tavern, and it was right next to Air Force Base, and the Marines were there, drinking, and it was my job, to go in there at 1:30 and make sure they all left. I mean, and they had me going to I think it was a nursing home, a big nursing home or something, and I was expected to be there, I think twice a night or something when the employees were coming in and the employees were leaving. You could set your watch by me, which is not the way security should work, but and then that's where they did that company, Watchman Service. That was it, Watchman Service. So then when I started patrol service, I set it up for a very small area in Kansas City, Missouri. Like a police officer would have a district. That was the area I patrolled. Now, sure, I could have gone a few blocks over and added, somebody else, and gone a few blocks over, added somebody else, and added somebody else. But no, that would have been, it was set up, the area was set up that I could, 3 o'clock in the morning, just park the car for a second, shut off the engine, have the windows rolled down, and if blocks and blocks away, if there was somebody smashing a window or kicking a door in or something or whatever, I would have heard it, and I could have headed over that way, and that, I did it the way it should be done. But these others, they didn't. Anyway, my wife and I, we had a tropical fish shop. We had a patrol service for about a year. Tropical fish shop we had for 4 or 5 years. And that was there, we sold tropical fish and, the aquarium supplies. And I became an expert in, tropical fish diseases. We even sold medication, soluble penicillin G and some others that were packaged up. Mistake I made when I sold that business is what I should have done is I should have kept the medication thing, said, okay, here's the tropical fish shop and blah, 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 blah. But the medication, I'll be selling that, separately. I should have done that. That would have been much better. But what other business were we in? Gosh, I can't even remember. But anyway, reason we didn't keep doing it, and we got in on the ground floor of the patrol service. See, we had the tropical fish shop, and after 4 or 5 years, maybe after 4 years, the wife said, hey, during the wintertime we make good money. Summertime we can't sell anything. So, the first year we figured that out. Not everybody had air conditioning back then. People went out, vacation and that kind of stuff. So for the next year we sold water hyacinth and water lilies and that kind of stuff for ponds or whatever. That didn't go over that crazy because people didn't know that, that we were doing that. Uh, then we got in some parrots and parakeets and what else? Well, I think that took care of that summer, and that really didn't go over. There again, people didn't know we had that type of stuff, and we couldn't afford a massive we couldn't afford we couldn't afford any advertising. But we treated everybody with that business too. Uh, you know, square deal, friendly. We didn't take advantage of anybody. We ordered in the fish. I treated the fish before they were, before they were sold. Quarantined and treated the fish before they were sold. Now part of the problem was, like the tropical fish we ordered in. I had to go to once or twice a week. I had to go to the airport. 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when they came in for some reason. And then I had to take them to the shop, and then I couldn't just leave them in the styrofoam, in the plastic bag in the styrofoam container. I had to, put them in the, the tanks and stuff, and treat them and that type of stuff. And also what I got interested in was the aquarium plants. Everybody else got in from Florida. There's ponds in Florida. There's weeds growing in there, and they pull the weeds out of there, and and they are aquarium plants. And all those people are selling, selling that stuff, and we got in aquarium plants that were, Madagascar lace plants and all kinds of fancy, the once a year, the aquarium club at a museum type place would set up, the aquarium club members would set up aquariums at the museum, and then it would be advertised, hey, with ads in the newspaper, stuff like that, and people would go there and see all these aquarium, and the club members would do a fantastic job of landscaping their tanks and getting the best looking fish in there and all that type of stuff. And they would come, and we would see them once a year before they would come and buy all of our fish plants, all of the plants from us, and put that would be in their tanks. And but we didn't see them any other time, because they got together and they bought wholesale, like they were a fish shop, and then they traded, and some of the people had more tanks, in their house and in their basement than we did in our shop, and they didn't like us. One, because there was some wicks, that was it. There was a fish shop in Kansas City, Missouri, Wicks, that had been there in that business for years and years, and they had a tremendous amount. I never went in there, never knew anything about it. I didn't know anything about tropical fish until I got married, and in fact, Darlene was setting up a tropical fish shop, and her mother and her father owned a bar. My mother and father drank at bars, and so my mother was in their bar drinking, and my mother was telling her mother how great and wonderful her son was, talking about me, and her mother was uh, telling my mother, oh, Darlene is just, she went to the Art Institute and she plays the piano and all that kind of stuff. Now she was 18 and I was 26. So my mother came home with her phone number, and I wanted nothing to do, with anybody my mother, and but anyway, she was setting up a tropical fish shop. Anyway, I didn't know that, but anyway, weeks later or whatever, and I was working as a welder, making good money, working the midnight shift. When I would be driving home on a Friday night, the way I came, I'd come by through the Swope Park and go right by the Highway 50 drive-in theater. You don't know what drive-in theaters are, do you? Goddamn young whippersnappers. Anyway, I'd be heading home, and on the road that I was going, the movie would be, at the time I was heading home, the drive-in movie was letting out and people were coming home. And it would be, I'm driving home after 8 hours working as a welder, and all the cars have, a guy driving and a girl sitting on his lap. This was before mandatory seatbelts, I think. I'd be, so anyway, I went home one day, and then I thought, my parents they went on a vacation to the Ozarks or something, rather, for a couple of weeks. And I thought, I wonder where that thing, and I found it, and I called Darlene's number. Remember, I was 26, she was 18, and very immature for an 18-year-old. I mean, we're talking, when we did get married, she would suck her thumb, and when she got a fever or something with her, she would be calling for mama, But anyway, so I called, and she said, oh, and she, told me later, well, that she had never really dated, but she had got polio when she was 5 years old. She used crutches, to get around. And she really hadn't dated, except she thought that she dated, except the guy that she dated would pick her up and park outside of a gay bar and talk to her when a guy would come in or go out, oh, he's cute. That guy's cute. Man, he's really, that kind of stuff. And I'm not sure that she figured out that he was gay until, she was at home thinking that he was her boyfriend. Yeah, she did know, because she said something to me, later after we were married, that that's the only guy that she dated, and that she knew he was gay, and that she thought she could change him, But anyway, she was at home, and she got a phone call, and it was that guy, and he said, oh, Darlene, guess where I'm at? And I guess she said, I don't know. Well, I'm at, I forget what the story was, whether he was at home or whether he was at this guy's house. And I think she was going to the Art Institute, I think, at that time. And he said to her, let's say Bill, I'm with Bill. Guess where we are? And she says, oh, I don't know, Yeah, we're in bed. We're having sex together, Well, that was the end of, So anyway, so she was 18. She was inexperienced. I was 26. Inexperienced, really, for a 26-year-old. But I called and she said she didn't want anything to do with it because she figured probably that'd be like my parents, both alcoholics, and also 26 years old, what kind of. And she said, well, I'm setting up my fish tanks. I'm starting an aquarium and I'm filling the fish tanks. With my mother's here helping me fill the fish tanks. And I said, well, why don't I just come by and meet you and I'll help you fill the fish tanks. And so I did. And God help me, we very quickly got engaged and married. Is it quota or something? That thing where they ask questions and people answer. I'm not sure I remember anybody ever asking it, but if the question would be, what's the biggest mistake you made in your life? It would have been, looking for that phone number and calling that phone number and going over there and filling up the fish tanks. Okay, I'm going to stop this. This is 35 minutes. I have no idea if you're even going to be able to see it. I think it's going to be in less than 1920 by 1080 format. I'm not sure the audio will work. I'm not sure of anything. So I'm using Movavi Video Suite. And, okay, I think it's in 1280 by 720. 30 frames a second. I think I'm just going to keep, well, of course, we'll see what this looks like. But, yeah, the way the settings are and things, I think I'm just going to continue using, ManyCam or OBS. And I think that's it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.